I'd like to thank you all first and foremost for joining us today. My name is Scott Janssen. I'm a Material Handling Product Manager with Rhino Tool House. And really excited to do our second series of the live demo here. This time we're doing it with Schmalz. Schmalz is a vacuum company out of Germany, actually. They're a 100-year-old company. They started manufacturing razor blades about 110 years ago, and they've grown to the world's largest vacuum solution company. Today we're going to talk about their handling products. We've partnered, Rhino Tool House and Schmalz have partnered together, and we've sold a ton of their product from. Today we're going to talk about their Jumbo series, which you see here. This is one of their product lines of the Jumbo Flex. That's the first one we're going to go over, but they have three different ones: the Jumbo Flex, the JumboSprint, and the JumboErgo. And then next we're going to talk about their VacuuMaster series, which is a, generally speaking, an under-chain series. And then lastly, we're going to bring it back here. One of our, JP is going to show us the Cobot series, which is a end effector that can go on to your Cobot. Today we're going to show it on the end of a Doosan Cobot, which we also offer as well, so you can get the full project from us. So, but if any of the products you see today interest you, again, this isn't all of their products, reach out to one of our Rhino Tool House sales engineers, and they'll be able to provide you with that. Again, if anything, if vacuum comes to mind for your application, give us a call. We can certainly work with Schmalz to figure out what you need. A couple key points. First one, if you have a question, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the chat button. Please click on that chat button, type that question into the chat, and we'll address those questions at the end of the session. We don't want to interrupt the live demo. And then secondly, make sure you stick around to the end. We're going to have one lucky user. We're going to select him at the end of this. Is going to get a Milwaukee toolkit. You can also buy these right here from Rhino Tool House, but the one we're giving away obviously is free to one lucky attendee. So with that, I'm going to send it over to Marshall, who is in North Carolina, sorry. And he's going to take it away, and he's going to go through all of the Jumbo and the VacuuMaster products. So thank you. Marshall, take it away.
All right, thank you, Scott. We appreciate that introduction. As you said, my name is Marshall Fleming. I'm project manager here at Schmalz. With me today is Mark Westfall, our marketing manager, and also, just in case anything should happen to go wrong, we have Gail and Gillette, our IT manager. So they're both going to be here assisting with the video today. As he said, we're going to talk about our Jumbo line as well as our VacuuMaster line. I'm going to take you through some of the products, the features and benefits, and we're going to do a little live demonstration and show you what we can actually do with our products. So in the essence of time, I'm just going to jump right into it. Be sure to type any questions you have down in the comments. So first product that we're going to talk about is our Jumbo Flex. So our tube lifters are all called Jumbos. So Jumbo Flex, JumboErgo, and JumboSprint, as Scott mentioned earlier. So the Jumbo Flex, the big difference here is it's a single hand operation. So you can see it here, and we'll turn it on and do a live demo with it in a few minutes. So this is one hand single trigger. The Jumbo Flex is available in 3 capacities, 20, 35, and 50 kilogram capacity. So all of them feature rotation unit, which we'll demonstrate. Also, it has a toolless quick change option that we'll demonstrate. Typically, our Jumbo Flex is controlled with an electric vacuum pump. For some applications where they don't have power or need to use a vacuum generator, we can use a pneumatic vacuum generator if that's desired. So if you have that application, please let us know. We can also spec that for you. You can see, hopefully it's in the frame here. This is featured on our Schmalz aluminum jib crane, and you can see some of our standard features that we're gonna demonstrate. Some of the nice bells and whistles that we can offer: parking stand, a blower platform to mount your vacuum generator. So it's either going to be a pump or a blower, and then you can put a silencer box if your application depends on a noise. Like right now, we're in our showroom. It's relatively quiet. A lot of times on a production floor, you may or may not need the silencer box, but we certainly have the options. And then to go with the jib crane, you have the vacuum limiter. So those are our standard options. They're available on generally every system. So I'll talk more about the options as we go through this. So right now, I'm going to turn on our Jumbo Flex here and kind of show you how it works. So this is probably our most common head. This is our DG head. It's adjustable. This is a modular beam. So standard length is 400 millimeters. It can be made into different lengths in adjustable. It's also available in fixed, and it's available in a rigid quad head. So predominantly we use this head for box picking. So this is good. This box isn't super heavy. It's probably about 30 pounds here. But you can see I effortlessly lift this box, and we will sit it down. So from the box, we can go straight into a bucket handling. So this is a 5-gallon bucket. Depending on the products of the 5-gallon bucket. They're generally going to weigh 40 to 50 pounds or so. So you can see one of the standard features of our Flex is our rotation unit, and you can see as it's a white bucket, but you can see our Schmalz logo here rotates around. So that's good for palletizing, pulling off a conveyor, putting it on a pallet where you need to have a label, either a barcode or a label for product information. So that's good for a lot of your palletizing operations. Another popular use for this unit use is bag handling. So we use our 35, and we'll go up to, the maximum capacity is about 77 pounds, but realistically, a 50-pound bag is where where this unit performs really well. And we'll show you this JumboSprint with a heavier capacity here shortly, or you could go to our Jumbo Flex 35, or our Flex 50, excuse me, which has a 50 kilogram capacity, it's about 110 pounds. So very similar, just a little bit larger handle and a 2-finger control. So you can see we can rotate that unit. You can lock it in place. It locks in place in 90-degree increments. So you can fix the tooling. And then to release it, you just squeeze it in. You'll squeeze the trigger all the way in. It's a double detent. Give it a gentle rock back, and then just let go, and then the unit will come back up to its hover height position. Each one of our units, you'll see, I'm just going to flip that off here to keep the noise down. Each one of our units, we're going to go ahead and give you several of the standard options that, like the protective tube cover and the motor starter switch. We go ahead and include those in generally most all of our quotes, unless it's for some reason application specific. And what that does is it's going to help protect the tube and give you an overall better product. So, and you'll see that that's consistent throughout our Jumbo Flex, JumboErgo, and JumboSprint lines. So there's a lot more I could say about the Flex, but in the essence of time, we're going to keep moving on, and I'm going to transition over this way. We're going to take the long walk across the showroom to our JumboSprint here. So JumboSprint, essentially the big brother to Jumbo Flex. This one, key differences here is it's going to be a 2-hand control. Predominantly, we use JumboSprint in bag handling, so I'll demonstrate that in a few moments. But I want to go over some of the standard features. The unit, as I said, is the big brother. So this unit is available in 35, 45, 65, 85, 110, 140, 200, and 300 kilogram. So that's our JumboErgo and JumboSprint. They use the same common tube. Key differences there is the handle. So the Sprint handle is going to be this metal bar handle, and then when we get to our JumboErgo, you'll see it's our motorcycle twist grip. So it's a different handle, but the tube is the same, and the vacuum generation is the same across both of them, as well as the tooling that adapts to it. So we'll go through both of those. So without further ado, let's get into the demo, and I'm going to turn this on and I'll show you how the Sprint works. So I'm just going to step over here. Our motor starter, it's located on the wall. possibly just out of camera shot. But one of our standard features that you can add if you don't want to have a physical motor starter, you can also incorporate our Schmalz remote control. It's a standard option. It's not included with any of them, but you can certainly, you can put a push button right on the operator handle. So that's really good for safety if you don't want an operator to accidentally energize the system with somebody standing over it. So sometimes we'll do that, or it's just application dependent. So one of the unique features of our JumboSprint, which is different than the JumboErgo or the Jumbo Flex, this unit actually has the ability to hover with a load. So it's actually adjustable. They'll all hover. This is actually adjustable hover height. So our Sprint, the handle is spring loaded, so I can adjust it to hover higher or lower based on the preload that I set on the spring here. So also has a full range of motion. You can see you can operate it with one hand. We have this one limited to about shoulder height for ergonomic purposes. Also, sometimes when people want to load a hopper, you don't want to have a lot of extra movement over the hopper as far as the up down. So that's kind of a time waste. So it'll actually make you more efficient in your handling. Predominantly what I use the Sprint for is exactly what you see here, bag handling. So we have multiple sizes of vacuum generators that we can put on it, so we can handle really porous bags, oftentimes a lot more porous than what our Jumbo Flex will handle. So a lot of times we'll use this in really fast palletizing, depalletizing operation where time cycle is really critical. You'll see, and I'll demonstrate it with the JumboErgo. I'll take you through the quick change tooling that's available on the JumboSprint and the JumboErgo. So I'll show you that feature a little bit later on. So some of your uses for this, like I said, predominantly bag handling. Also can be used for drum and or box handling. So you'll see a lot of those in those applications. Also, if you need a stainless steel version for your application, say you have a more caustic environment, have stronger, more rigorous cleaning regimen. We have this available in stainless. We also have some special units that we're not going to get into too much in this that are more geared toward the food and pharma industries that have very specific stainless requirements, wash down requirements, that kind of thing. So if you have any of those questions, reach out to your dealer, talk to them. Those guys will get with our application engineers and we'll make sure we get the right product for you guys and your application. So obviously, as with all of our product, there's more that we could talk about, but we're going to keep moving on and we're going to transition into our VacuuMaster line now. So we'll wrap up the VacuuMaster and then we're going to take a quick field trip out to our test area, and that's where our JumboErgo is set up. So this, as Scott said, essentially our below the hook device is, we refer to as our VacuuMaster. So we have several models of our VacuuMaster. This model that you're looking at here is now our VacuuMaster Comfort, and this is going to be a 90-degree tilt. So this unit will tilt up 90 degrees. So that allows you to take a workpiece that's laying horizontal, obviously pick it up, tilt it vertical, load a rack, glass, window manufacturing, large steel door, granite slabs. There's just a lot of different things that you can do with it. Basically, anything that's non-porous. You have a porous load, you're going to use a tube lifter. Or if you have a really fast time cycle, you're going to use a tube lifter. Obviously, a tube lifter will work on porous or non-porous. VacuuMaster is going to be generally non-porous application. So something, like a sheet metal or steel or laminated material. So for our standard offerings, you have, as you see here, VacuuMaster 90. You also have a horizontal version. You have a 180 version. The VacuuMaster 90, VacuuMaster 180, and the VacuuMaster horizontal are available in the basic and the comfort models. So I'll talk to you the differences in the basic and comfort models in just a second. We'll get into that. Other models of VacuuMaster that we have, I'm not going to go into detail, but I just wanted to mention them. We have our VacuuMaster glass units that are battery powered units for handling glass outside, for installing them in the side of a building. You also have our VacuuMaster windows, which were 90 degree. The cups are oriented in the 90 degree plane, and they'll actually rotate and or they can be fixed. We have our VacuuMaster coil, which is specific for VacuuMaster coils. We have VacuuMaster Multi, which is the only product in our line of VacuuMasters is actually 4-porous handling, and you can do that in basic, in horizontal and or 90 degree or tilt. So, and as well, one of our newer products is our actual VacuuMaster Comfort 500 is what we call it, which that looks similar to this, but it's a lot bigger. 500 kilogram capacity. It can tilt 90 and then rotate endlessly in the vertical plane. So that's one of our newer units. It's probably a couple years old that we spent a lot of time in development, but that's a pretty good unit if you need that application. So VacuuMaster Basic and Comfort, as I said, I'll go over some of the big feature differences here. Our VacuuMaster Comfort model, as you see here, has integrated hoist controls, as demonstrated by the button being pushed in. So the Comfort model is going to come turnkey. It's going to come, it's usually recommended. It's plug and play option with our Schmalz hoist, and then it's going to integrate with our Schmalz hoist, which is a 2-speed hoist with a double detented button. Also with the Comfort model, in addition to the integrated controls, you're going to get the energy saving function. Right now, this unit is vacuum's turned on, main switch is on, pump's not running because it doesn't need vacuum. So that's one of the key differences is the energy saving function from the VacuuMaster Comfort and the VacuuMaster Basic. Also, the Comfort model is going to have a 2-button detent. So green is going to be vacuum on. You're going to push both buttons, turn vacuum off. And obviously you can see your e-stop right here. And I'll demonstrate that in just a second. VacuuMaster, standard VacuuMaster models are available up to 4,000 or up to 4,400 pounds or 2,000 kilogram capacity. So our lightest unit is right around 100 kilogram. So right now, we're just going to demonstrate this. It's actually a cool workpiece here. This is actually a textured diamond plate with paired with our SPK cups. Our SPK have a nice foam seal. Actually allows us to seal, make an airtight seal right across this textured surface or structured surface. So demonstrates well some of the Schmalz vacuum technology that we can use. So obviously we can lift this workpiece up, and then it can tilt up to 90 degrees. And you can lower it right back down. And then again, takes, if I just push the red button, which I know you can't see right now, but it requires both buttons to release vacuum to help prevent accidental release of the workpiece. So that, folks, if you have any questions, get in contact with Rhino Assembly. They'll be happy to look at your application details and go over any of your specific details for your application for the VacuuMaster. So right now we're going to move on out. We're going to take you on a little field trip, as I promised, to the warehouse. And welcome. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a ride for you to get out here. So as promised, this is going to be our JumboErgo line. And you can see big difference between the as I mentioned earlier, the big difference between the JumboSprint and the JumboErgo is going to be the handle design. So what this is going to do is allow you to handle much wider, much thicker workpieces. Also, this JumboErgo, if you need to tilt up in the 90 degrees, similar to what you just seen in the VacuuMaster, if you need to tilt a porous load, such as a piece of OSB, or if you need to tilt it faster than what you just seen, or a higher duty cycle, we would do JumboErgo, and then we would have our pneumatic tilt, our 90 degree feature, which we refer to it as our PSE. So we would use that if you had that application, and we use that a lot for vertical panel saw handling, glass manufacturing, windshield manufacturing, are just a few of the applications that we do pretty regular for the JumboErgo. So we went over a majority of the features. I think at this point we're just going to turn it on. So 1 second, and this would be a good time for one of those Schmalz remote controls. So you can see it. The controls are a lot different than the JumboSprint. With our motorcycle twist grip here, you're going to twist it forward to go up. You're going to twist it back to go down. Difference between the JumboErgo and the JumboFlex. The JumboFlex has the quick change tooling as a standard feature. This is an optional feature as a quick change. As you just seen me put the head on, normally that head would just bolt on. Also on this unit, you'll see that we have the vent unit. So that's this red handle release here. We use that if you have a really quick need for release, or if you have a whole bunch of cups, or like 4 cups or more, we'll typically put that vent release on here. So just to demonstrate here, this is a sample. This is a piece of OSB. Pretty easy. I mean, this is our bread and butter as far as picking up, but we do a lot more difficult applications than this. This is just for demo purposes here. So you can see we have the handle length pretty much kind of exactly where we need it. We pick up the OSB, twist the grip forward. Now this unit is not spring loaded, so you'll tell it where to hover. So you can control that. The handle's going to stay in a fixed position wherever you twist it to. So you can twist it up, you can hover it here, kind of at shoulder height. You can hover it a little bit lower, depending on the application. Typically with the tube lifter, people are just moving, really fast operation, so there's not a whole lot of need for hovering, but I'll demonstrate that again. So sit it down. You can pull the vent release. On this unit, typically on a double head, you're not going to have the vent release. So the way you would release it, you'd pick it up, sit it down, twist the unit back, tilt it a little bit forward, and then release. So it's just that simple. Very ergonomic design. And people really enjoy this unit. It's probably, obviously, it's one of our best-selling, most popular units. So I'm going to sit this down. So this head, you can pick, depending on your application, you can pick multiple different products. Oftentimes, the standard head will work across several product lines. So this box is a pretty good box, very rigid, so we can just use these standard flat cups. If you have boxes that are more flexible, sometimes we'll recommend testing. We can put our round bellows cups on here. A lot of different tooling options that we can do. So any questions that you have or any application, feel free to reach out to your dealer and get us application details. We'll fill out the questionnaire. Some of the key features of all of our Schmalz systems, as you can see, is our adjustability. So we'll ask a lot of application details to make sure our solution's catered to you. So this is a modular design. This head's actually, bigger than what you would actually use for this box in real life. Would normally shorten this down, but just demonstrate our modular design. We make these beams all the way out to 2,000 millimeters as a standard. Obviously, we have longer options than that. This handle is modular. Smaller workpiece, shorter handle. This handle can pivot for high stacking. We have some flex high stacking specific applications. We also have this available in the low stack application. So specifically for like unloading like a Gaylord container or reaching into a bin without having to, bend over and arc your back. So right now, I'll just quickly show you the quick change. So it's just a simple pull pin and a slight turn. And one thing that you get with all the Schmalz systems, whenever you fill out the questionnaire, you get the support of our inside sales teams, our application engineers. So I really want to stress that point of our dealers and our support folks here are second to none. Those guys are really going to go over your application details with a fine-tooth comb and make sure they give you the right solution. It may not always be the cheapest solution, but it's going to be the best solution, and that's what we pride ourselves in, and the support that goes along with that. So that's what you can expect from Schmalz. That's what I expect from all of my guys and the team here at Schmalz and Rhino Assembly. So the expert support, the great products are really what you can expect out of us. And any questions that you have or any problems or concern, don't hesitate. Feel free to reach out to us. Going to wrap it up there. I could talk about this product all day long, such a great product, but I got to wrap it up and give JP some time. So thank you for your attention. I'm going to kick it back to JP in New Berlin.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm JP with Rhino Tool House. I'm the robotics product manager. Today, we're going to do a short demo on the Schmalz ECB vacuum generator. We're going to show that on our Doosan Cobot. Just a little bit of background about Doosan. Doosan is a South Korean company. They established in 2015. They have penetrated the North American market about 18 months ago. We've officially been signed up as a distributor with those guys for about 16 months. What's unique about Doosan is a couple different features. It's truly a collaborative robot. And what I mean by that is it has a true joint torque sensor in each one of the 6 joints. So 6 total. Your typical competitors normally have 1 or 2. So that allows us to hold a force accuracy of 0.2 newtons of force. So we can use that in any kind of buffing applications, polishing, and we can also use it as an extra safety. If we got any kind of pinch points that we're trying to protect operators, things of that nature. The second option for Doosan, what makes it set apart from other competitors is it's got a series of 5 buttons on the J5. What these buttons allow us to do, it allows us to manipulate and actually move the robot in place. And then we can, push a couple buttons to actually train those points. So moving on to what we actually have installed on our Cobot is we've got the Schmalz vacuum generator, the ECB product. This is its own unit. Through the 24-volt connection, it automatically generates vacuum. And then we can also tie upper and lower limits around that to make sure that we actually physically have the product and the product hasn't, fell off our suction cup. So, we've got 2 demos that I'll show you. We'll just run through. We're doing a palletizing operation right now. So let me go ahead and start that. So the second part of this demo, I kind of want to show everybody what happens when it actually comes down and tries to grab product and it knows nothing's there. So right away, as you can see, it gives me an alarm. It knows that nothing is on that suction cup. And so it prompts us and gives us an option. Do we want to continue or do we want to abort the program? Now, this is just a manual, pop-up. We could automate this. We could put it in our PLC. So we could fully automate it if needed. So the second product that we want to show you today, we don't have it mounted on our Cobot, but it's actually the Schmalz FXCB product. This uses compressed air, and it also has live feedback as well. Much higher payloads. And with this foam insert on here, it allows us to be able to pick, products that aren't exactly smooth. It could be a little rough. It could be OSB board, you name it. Also a little bit more about, the vacuum generator, the ECB product. That's completely configurable. And what I mean by that, physically. So as you can see in this catalog, this brochure, you can see that we can add as many suction cups as we want. We can change this configuration to whatever we need it to be. And from there, I'll hand it back over to Scott Janssen. And thanks for your time, guys.
We on? Can you hear me? All right, perfect. I appreciate everybody joining us today. We're going to start with the question and answer section. So, what's that? Yeah. So Steve's going to tell me a question, and we're going to attempt to answer it. Make it nice. What's that?
What happens if I lose electricity while lifting?
With the Jumbo series or VacuuMaster series?
I can answer it for both quickly.
Right, there you go, Mark. Yeah, let Mark take that one.
Okay,
Marshall, sorry.
So with the Jumbos, all of our tube lifters are designed with 2-to-1 area, and they have a non-return valve in the unit. I don't have camera, but I'm actually still standing in the showroom talking with my hands. But it has a relief valve, so it's a check valve in the top of the lift tube. So with the properly designed gripper and 2-to-1 safety factor, it's going to lower the load slowly to the ground. That relief valve will automatically close once it doesn't see vacuum being generated. As far as that's on the tube lifter. On the VacuuMaster, it's actually got a audible alarm that's powered with capacitors, and on an airtight workpiece, it'll hold the load for, depending on how clean the cups are, it can hold the load for hours, and it's going to have a red-green visual gauge, and it's going to have an audible alarm to let you know that you lost electricity and power. So it'll hold the load for some amount of time to allow you to safely support the load and get out from underneath.
Perfect. Thank you, Marshall. Question from Jason. Do you have a chart showing the minimum surface area required and LXW dimensions for the suction area to lift a given load?
I don't have a specific chart, but you can reach out to your inside sales. It depends on, a lot of that depends on your maximum and minimum application. So if you fill out the questionnaire with your minimum area, we can spec the lifter for the smallest area, depending on the largest load and smallest load.
Right, and I would mention the other thing is that if you saw their showroom there, they have a lot of, they had tubes all over the place. So what we do a lot of times is if you're unsure of whether or not either what product to go with or if it'll lift the load with a specific vacuum head, then we can certainly send your product down to Schmalz. They'll send you a video with them testing it with the recommended vacuum head and lifter. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Question from David. Does anyone know if this will lift a concave or convex product?
You should, yeah. But
yes, it will. You may have to have a specific, some of the suction cups, depending on the radius, a standard suction cup may be able to work. So again, this would be a good time if you have that concave or convex surface, you can send us the specs on it. Sometimes we may request test products, and if that's the case, we will ask you to send in some products for testing with our test ID form. Typically, we can turn around test videos within usually less than a week.
So a little bit more on that specific application. They have an 18-inch diameter 40-pound steel disc used in agriculture furrowing. They need to lift it out of a crate and recrate it into another. So that's a little bit more on their specific application. I don't know if you could speak to that.
So it's an 18-inch diameter. Is it a tank or cylinder?
Steel disc.
Oh,
I would think so. I guess in the I would prefer to have one of our local sales engineers should be able to make the trip out to your site and get all the application specifics from picking height to placing height. You know what the dunnage looks like, things of that nature. Because sometimes those and again what you're supporting from, so those things can change the application for us. But certainly it sounds like something we could do. But we'd like to get more application details, make sure that we provide the right product for you.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
got a 3-inch concave.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we could, but again, we'd certainly have one of our engineers make contact and check it out. So
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll follow up with you, David, about that question, just to make sure you have all the information you need. Another question. Sorry, give me a sec. Is there a solution for rotating large size loads up to, I think, 180 inches? They're doing acrylic sheets 100 inches wide by 160 inches, up all the way up to 300 inches in length.
is it when we talk rotate, are we talking 90, 1 or 180, or even? I guess regardless, yes.
180.
180. Yes, there is a solution that Schmalz offers with their VacuuMaster series to do 180 degrees of lift. The bail on it kind of looks like a C. The only issue that you have anytime you're picking up a product and you're rotating it 180 degrees with the lifter itself is once you've rotated all the way around, now your tooling is on the underside of the product itself. So you got to find a place to set it down and then be able to remove that tooling. They do also offer a product, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's actually just a floor mounted pedestals and they have the suction cups and you grab it and then it flips it over 180. If you could use one of those with a stack of sheets and then it presents it in the 180 degree solution, so then you could pick it up with a standard VacuuMaster solution. But to answer your questions, yes, we have solutions for flipping products 180 degrees. Again, we'd really like to see the actual application discussed with you to see which one of the various solutions would be best fit for you.
We have a question from Delano. Does the Cobot work with only the Doosan cameras for vision application?
No, we're not tied to any specific manufacturer. If Steven zooms in on this, you can actually see we've got an external camera. And this is a Cognex brand. We're not tied to any manufacturer. It could be Keyence. Doosan actually manufactures their own camera as well. But it could be a Banner. It could be any of the above.
Thank you, JP. Let's see. I think that is it for questions.
All right, Steve's going to spin the wheel here for me. We're going to, get the winner, and whoever is the winner, we'll reach out separately after this. But who do we got, Steve?
We have Paul Keener is the winner of the
All right.
Milwaukee Toolkit. So
All right,
Paul,
we'll get in touch with you after this, and we'll get your info so we can get that sent out to you. So again, appreciate Schmalz. Really appreciate you guys coming on today and dispensing some of your expertise on everybody. Appreciate all the customers and hopefully future customers that joined us today. This is what we need to do in the epidemic, and I appreciate everybody joining. Thank you again, and we'll be sending out. Join us again in about a month's time. We're gonna do a company called Built Systems, assembly workstations, weld tables, carts, custom carts, things of that nature. You should be getting a flyer from us in a short time here. But again, appreciate you. And if you want to join again next month, that would be awesome. So thank you.